real-time payments are not just for big community and the DeFi, it is for everyday purchases. And we want to make that point.
I'm excited to have today both Sushil and Will from Dropp, as well as Peter from Pinnacle, to talk about some really interesting developments that are going on in the Hedera payment space. Gentlemen, thank you so much for hopping on today.
Hey, thanks, Brandon. Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting us. It's been a while. I mean, the last time I was on your panel here is from Davos when we made that big announcement of real-time payments from Truist. So
yeah, you had these beautiful mountains behind you. It was a great setup, but we have some really exciting stuff to get into today as well. But I want to go through, since we have some new faces, we have some new things going on, and I know most of my audience is well aware of what Dropp is. But for the few that might not know what Dropp is, Sushil, could you just run us through a quick recap of what the platform is?
Sure, absolutely. Thanks. So Drop is a platform that brings two powerful technologies together. One is distributed ledger technology and real-time banking, which is real-time payments. And basically, the payment platform is all about faster, which is instant settlement, and cheaper transaction. It's an alternative to credit cards. All of you have heard of distributed ledger technology, Hedera, and how by the use of stable coins, we can make those payments really, really fast and quick. But we also leverage real-time banking rails, which are called RTP from the clearinghouse. And there is another technology called FedNow. So we bring all of these technologies together so that you can make payments really cheap. It's an alternative to cards. That's what, in a nutshell, is. And I can describe this a little later.
Yeah, well, we'll get into it a little bit more deeply as far as how this is integrating into Pinnacle. But we have a new face here, as I mentioned, with Will on the Dropp team. Will, can you just introduce yourself real quick and tell us about your background?
Sure. Thanks, Brandon. My name is Will Chun. I'm the VP of Growth and Partnerships at Dropp. I have about a decade and a half of experience in what we call the fuels convenience retail. So anytime anyone goes to fuel up, whether it's consumers or fleet, or anyone goes inside C-store to purchase items, that's really where we're focusing on in terms of growth. Previously, I've managed a portfolio of merchants at Visa and other positions in the fuels convenience industry.
Well, it sounds like you're a perfect fit. I already have some additional questions for you, but I want to jump over to Peter here real quick. Peter, can you explain what Pinnacle is and your background a bit?
Yeah, well, Pinnacle has been a provider of technology to the convenience and petroleum marketplace for over 35 years. We brought to the industry some of the first point of sale scanning. And lately, we've been focused on consumer-facing technology, things like point of sale, kiosk, mobile ordering, order at the pump, and self-checkout. And we've developed this cloud commerce solution called Affinity. And I'm the VP of Research and Development at Pinnacle.
So one of the things, we've had a fair amount of payment solutions around Hedera in the digital world, but this is bringing it to the bricks and mortar world, which is something that's a little bit new for us. So Sushil, can you just run us through what this collaboration looks like between Dropp and Pinnacle?
Sure. And that will require me to give a little bit of background on Dropp itself. So yes, Dropp is a payment platform, and we bring US dollar and stable coins for everyday purchases. That is a proposition in the market. Our focus is small value transactions under $25, all the way to 1 cent. So we do micropayments and small value transactions. Our focus for the last a couple of years, was the digital market, the e-commerce market. And then the reason being is the card not present, which is when you don't have your card, when you swipe it on a digital commerce website, that's where the cost of a transaction is really high. But then there is another market, which is everyday purchases. Every time you go to a corner store, you are making small value purchases, and people tend to use cards. And we had not looked at that market at all. And when Will joined us, we started focusing on that market. And what we found is there's a real need there. So Dropp is trying to bring stable coins, which is primarily in the DeFi space, and real-time payments, which typically is for large payments. So we're bringing those two technologies for everyday purchases. If merchants can use RTP and stable coins, and then consumers can have it, we can reduce that 3% inflation. I call it the inflation tax. The card transaction is 3% inflation tax all the way down to 1%. There's every time you eat at a restaurant or go to a store, there's already a built-in 3% increase. We're trying to bring that down. So our collaboration with Pinnacle is really sort of a milestone in our roadmap to bring it to everyday purchases in store. We already have, as you know, Brandon, and you've interviewed us several times, we already have it on WordPress and e-commerce site. We want to bring it to a point of sale. Like when you walk into a convenience store or you fill up your gas, there is a point of sale solution. There's a point of sale device. That's what Pinnacle offers. And they've had like 30 years of experience building those systems. And what we have done is we have, with Peter's help or Peter's team's help, we have implemented Dropp APIs. So you can walk into a store and make a purchase either with a credit card or you can pay by Dropp, which is Pay-by-Bank or Pay-by-Stablecoin.
Sushil, for whatever reason, people get really excited when you can actually buy a coffee with crypto or on top of crypto rails. Now, you mentioned being able to use banking rails and also using stablecoins. Stablecoin, of course, that's a bearer asset, so that's just a transfer from a wallet to a wallet. Yeah. But I believe your FedNow solution also uses Hedera HCS. Is that correct?
So our entire platform uses Hedera. So just so you know, if you just go back to the basics here, the entire core platform uses Hedera's infrastructure. Everything from, there are three things that we do. Just so you know, Brandon, we low transaction costs, instant settlement, and the third thing that we do is a direct engagement between the merchant and the consumers. And the way we do that is a consumer can offer you an offer, like a coupon, like a loyalty. All of these technologies, everything, we even have a subscription model. Everything is built on Hedera. Just so you understand, maybe I skipped that piece, but that is our core infrastructure. Even as we look to extend our product to different blockchains, the core payment infrastructure is Hedera. So you're right about the HCS. Even when you do a real-time payments on RTP, we use RTP, which is from the clearinghouse. The payment transaction record, the ledger, is HCS. Okay, that's where it gets stored. That's our final proof of transaction. When people say, did the transaction happen in the ledger? We can show them in a database, but the real final proof remains in the HCS transaction. You're right.
All right, understood. So, Peter, I want to go back to you. Why were you at Pinnacle interested in implementing these solutions on your platform?
Well, our convenience store customers are just getting killed by credit card fees. And as an industry that has a very high amount of very small transactions, in a lot of cases, the credit card fees that they pay are actually higher than the profit that they're making in their stores. One of the recent innovations that we developed is our Affinity Smart Wallet, and it allows the consumer to share information at the checkout with one single scan, things like age credentials for restricted item purchases, digital coupons, loyalty cards, and it can even share verifiable credentials about the consumer for something like being a first responder so that they can get additional discounts based on that. So payment is just a natural part of that process since we've already established the connection between the digital wallet and the point of sale. And to be able to use something like Pay-by-Bank through the digital wallet makes it pretty effortless for the consumer. And then the retailer avoids all of the credit card interchange fees, the payment delay of getting their money as they have with regular credit cards.
Understood. So, Sushil, I want to go back to you real quick because we have people that, of course, are dealing with DeFi on a regular basis, and they might have some profits that they shift into USDC. Are they going to be able to put that directly in their Dropp wallet and use that for small payments at these convenience stores?
Oh, absolutely. So the Dropp wallet, it looks like, I'm just going to pick some name, Venmo and Zelle. It really is a Hedera crypto wallet. So you can not just transfer USDC, you can even transfer other tokens. In fact, we have other tokens. They're not widely used, so we don't talk about them. But we also have HBAR on that thing. Yes, absolutely. So you'll be able to transfer from your Binance wallet, and there are other wallets on Hedera that are coming out. And as I mentioned, we are also looking at other chains just because of liquidity and USDC. But yes, absolutely, the answer is you should be. You download the wallet, you can transfer out and transfer in. We also have Wallet Connect. So one of the things, Brandon, you had asked, like, what is the key proposition? It's not only just cheaper, better, but it is also getting ready for everyone for Web3. So Drop has Wallet Connect where you can do Web3 commerce. It's not just Web2 and email. Although that's the most dominant thing that we're doing, USD and Web2, but it's got everything in it as we slowly, gradually get into the Web3 commerce, which you understand through Wallet Connect is a direct commerce without even us. It's a direct thing. So absolutely, please check it out and download, and you can see that it has Web3 commerce in it. Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what we want to hear. Will, I want to get into, what this addressable market looks like, because you mentioned that you've been working in this space for a while. How many stores are there out there that we could eventually target, and what are your expansion plans at Drop?
Yeah, great question, Brandon. So just to put things in context, in the US alone, we've got about 153,000 C stores. So it's massive reach and scale that outpace any QSR retail grocery store. When you look at the total revenues alone, combined with C store revenues and fuel, it's a $900 billion marketplace with about $300 billion just in in-store sales alone. And if you take it one step further, an average transaction size, as we've been talking about, probably about $9 to $8. So to put things into context, on a per hour basis, we're talking about 4.6 million transactions occurring across the United States, which is just a fantastic opportunity for Drop, and also these partnerships with Pinnacle and others, as we not only target fuels convenience, but other segments as well.
That's exactly what we want to hear. So, Sushil, I want to go on to what are some of the next steps that we should be looking out for, and how the community can get engaged.
Oh wow, that's a good question. Just Will is an expert in all of these convenience stores and fuel stores. So when he said C store, that's convenience stores, and when he mentioned QSR, because it took me a while to get to it, QSR. That's like the quick food stores like McDonald's and Chick-fil-A, and that's a QSR. I know you use those terms very easily. For many of us who are not a part of that ecosystem, it's not well understood. Okay.
Oh, we're used to jargon on here for sure.
Oh yeah, we are. So we're bringing this massive technology, or very efficient technology of DLT, USDC, and real-time payments. We call ourselves the last mile, right? This is the last mile because these technologies exist, but they exist in the DeFi space when it comes to USDC, and RTP exists in the B2B space. So we bring, although the proposition is pretty attractive to the merchant because you can reduce the transaction, we also want to make sure that we learn as we go into the in-store. So our first initial next step is to identify some of the merchants at Pinnacle where we can pilot this. And we will announce it as we start piloting it, because we will learn from that purchasing experience. Remember, it is a very simple experience with you scanning the QR code, but we'll still have to have consumers download the app. There is some friction points, and that's how it is. Just the way you register for a card, you fill up a form. Here, you don't have to fill up a form, you have to download an app. So it's a lot shorter cycle, but we do know there is some friction. So one of the things that we're doing to attract merchants, the initial set of merchants who are going to try this out, is we're going to offer them the first 90 days, no transaction fee. Forget 1%, no transaction, which is a substantial amount of wealth given back to them because they don't have to pay. And all we're asking them is to try Pinnacle's point of sale, which will have this little button, and I'll show you in my demo, Brandon, later. It's a little button which is, do you want to pay by Drop? They click on it and they pay by. So that to us is probably one of the most immediate next steps. And once we do that, what I would love if, as we release this in Texas or in lots of different states, I'm going to have Peter decide that. I would love the Hedera community to go check it out. I mean, we could also give you guys an incentive to go check it out and bring out a video, create a video, and send it to Brandon or me, and that will help us. That will help Hedera. That will help the Pinnacle. But really, it will bring out the fact that stable coins and real-time payments are not just for big community and the DeFi. It is for everyday purchases, and we want to make that point. So we'll let you know. That's our big next step, to figure out the pilot merchants and be out there and learn from some of the experiences we're going to get.
Yeah, absolutely. So just last week, I was covering some of this and I was already getting feedback of people that wanted to pilot it, try it out, all that kind of stuff. Will, I have another question for you. So if there's franchisees out there, if there's convenience store owners, of course, all of them aren't serviced by Pinnacle. What would you suggest to them if they want to try this out to save some money on those credit card fees? Would they reach out to their point of sale providers, things like that, or would they reach out directly to Dropp?
I think they reach out directly to Dropp, or in this case, Peter from Pinnacle. It's a relatively easy lift, and keep in mind, there are various segments in fuels convenience retail. There's the brand global logos, but there's a vast majority of marketplace where it's small to medium sized businesses where the transition for a point of sale is far more easier and simple with using a point of sale company like Pinnacle.
Makes perfect sense. So, Peter, I want to go to you one more time because Sushil mentioned that, you're trying to decide the different locations. Can you kind of give us any idea of where these stores and where this might be available, or is that still a little bit too early?
Well, it's a little bit early, but we have a footprint of point of sale in the continental U.S. And this feature today works on our Affinity platform, which is our cloud platform. It's our latest POS platform.
Okay, I got it. So, Peter, I really appreciate you coming on here today, giving us a chance to feature Dropp and Hedera and the payments that are possible. Will and Sushil, we love what you guys are doing. We want to see those expansion plans go into action. Thank you so much for coming on today and telling us about it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm now posting these interviews of Hedera builders independently to my channel. The community, influencers, and media outlets are free to use this content to spread the word on what's being built on Hedera. Once they're all uploaded, you'll be able to go to my channel and search for whatever topic or team you're interested in to find more information. Or you'll be able to get the most recent Hedera news by watching the latest HBAR weekly update. So check them out.